'Tis the season of gifting and halls to deck, and the Who's and Who Newville were in love with new tech. Where can we find Sonos and Samsung and Nintendo, they shouted. Would they find it in one place? This they questioned and doubted. When suddenly a Who yelled, Walmart's the place to start! And each Who added headphones, TVs, and games to their carts. With Walmart, their shopping was done in a flurry. They cried out, Who knew? And ordered their gifts in a hurry. Shop the latest tech gifts in the Walmart app.
Are you ready to get spicy?
These Doritos Golden Sriracha aren't that spicy.
Sriracha? Sounds pretty spicy to me.
A little spicy, but also tangy and sweet.
Maybe it's time to turn up the heat.
Or turn it down. It's time for something that's not too spicy. Try Doritos Golden Sriracha.
Spicy.
But not too spicy.
The Mario Rosenstock Podcast with On Ice, Ireland's premium ice skating experience, where winter memories are made. Visit onice.ie.
GoLoud. Sounds better with us.
Coming up on this episode of the Mario Rosenstock Podcast.
You're going to go on the Late Late Show tonight. Yeah. And you're going to go on Patrick Keelty. Well done. How are you? Tell us about your Irish roots. He's probably going to ask you about your Irish roots. So let's get this out of the...
Will, straight away, I have none.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank God you don't.
They wanted to ask me straight away. I'll tell you what I will confess to, though. I wish I spoke like you people. My God. I just think it just makes everything musical. It's perfect for comedy. There's a dance to it.
Yeah.
That it makes it more... I don't know. It's the word choice as well as the accent.
I've been watching Russell Howard on TV for years now. He was a regular fixture on the hugely popular comedy show Mock the Week. He's had his own Netflix specials, and of course his stand-up clips are all over social media. He's a comedian who has had a history of dealing with all the topicality of the week and wrapping them up in a nutshell, so that's what interested me. So I've always known that he's a very intelligent and funny fella, but what I didn't realise is what a great conversationalist he is. He was over in Ireland to promote his new tour, and on a trip like that, you're literally going from studio to studio and talking to dozens of people you've never met from dawn till dusk. It can be tiring, and sometimes you feel like the life is being sucked from you because you don't get the person at their best. But from the minute he walked into the GoLoud studio, Russell was interested, energetic, and completely engaged in our chat. And I think he really enjoyed it as well. And we ended up straying off into all sorts of different weird and wonderful territory, in my opinion at least.
The way that we talk on British news is a very strange way to report what is happening. Hello, welcome. More war, more horror, more sexual assault. Here's the weather. It's so kind of detached and formal. If anyone should swear, it's newsreaders. It should be like, are you fucking getting this? Have you seen what's fucking happening? Again? It is illegal to reply to an email to your boss if it's outside working hours. And for me, that typifies the Aussies of like, mate, I'd love to call you back, but it's illegal. It's 5:05, so get fucked. I would leave the house during the summer holidays at 9. My mum wouldn't let me back in the house until 5. And, we didn't realise how fortunate we were to have that utterly idyllic world of slowly becoming ourselves. And the problem we have now is, how can the real world possibly compete with the lure of the phone or the iPad? My favourite word of is, do you know the German word Kummerspeck?
No.
Kummerspeck translates to grief bacon, and it's a term for putting on weight after heartbreak.
Ah, lovely.
It's kind of amazing.
My full chat with Russell Howard coming up in just a couple of minutes' time. But first, it was a big week for me, because one of my biggest gift grub characters, Pascal Donoghue, suddenly decided out of the blue to exit stage left. He's resigned his cabinet seat, resigned his ministry, resigned from government entirely. He's going to go to Washington to take up a job as managing director of the World Bank on a reputed salary of over 600 grand a year. Good luck to him. He was a much admired figure in Irish political circles. Whether you were for him or against him, most people realised that he was a polite and courteous individual who always gave of his best to any task that he had at hand. Needless to say, I came across and intercepted, and in fact hacked, if you don't mind, Pascal's voicemails, on which many people were wishing him well.
You've reached the voicemail of Pascal Donahue. Thank you. Please leave a message after the tone. Thank you. Pascal, it's Ivan Yates. So let me be very clear. I don't blame you for getting out of this tip. Ireland has turned into a right pain in the hole. You can't do anything. So that's clear. Listen, I'm taking a more international approach with my media training services now. So do me a solid and put in a word for me with some of those bigwigs over in Washington. That Vance guy, he looks a bit fresh. I could do with a bit of that, give him a bit of that Yates media magic.
Pascal, it's Matt Cooper here. I know we've had our differences on air, but hoping we can leave all that behind. I'm in a bit of a loose end podcast-wise at the moment. I need to get it sorted fast. Those monthly subscriptions are sorely missed. I need to find another outrageous and controversial co-host. If you bump into Sean Hannity or Tucker Carlson or any of those lads, will you put in a word for me? I'll take any of them, even Nick Fuentes. Cal Thomas is on the hunt for me too. Go on.
Pascal, this is President Donald J. Trump looking forward to welcoming you to Washington, D.C. I hear you're a smart guy, and we need smart guys over here. They say you know a lot about money, a lot about finance. You know how to massage those fingers. You're a great guy. That's why they call you P. Diddy Donahue, and we love P. Diddy. I'll give you a pardon if you get it wrong. Don't worry, we should talk. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Call up P. Diddy. Love you.
And brand new and exclusive comedy every week on the Mario Rosenstock podcast. And you can, of course, contact me, mariorosenstock@gmail.com. I read them all and get back to nearly all of them. A special shout out for my sponsor, On Ice, Ireland's premium ice skating experience. It returns this season. It's bringing back the magic of ice skating nationwide this festive season, with locations in Dundrum and Swords in Dublin, Marina Market in Cork, as well as locations in Waterford and Limerick. Enjoy Ireland's #1 festive and family entertainment this Christmas. Go ice skating. Why not? Take a chance. Enjoy yourself. Breathe in the fresh air. It's exhilarating. It's invigorating. I'm going along myself this season. Grab your tickets now at onice.ie. So, comedian Russell Howard is standing by and ready to go. On the same day we recorded our chat, Russell was also going to be appearing on The Late Late Show, which I informed him is actually the longest running chat show in TV history. That got us talking about TV chat shows in general and how much they have changed over the years.
Chat shows used to be a lot more, they could be like small and, quite deep and then kind of frivolous in a way that they are kind of all frivolous now.
They're all frivolous. Everything is the Graham Norton show now.
Yeah, and it's all kind of like, tell me your story. And what's really interesting, it's against a backdrop of podcasts, which can be deep or frivolous, but they can kind of go where you want.
It's interesting that that TV has turned into kind of a bit of frivolity all the way.
It's all it is, and it's everything is like that dreaded word, light entertainment.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Kind of like,
and in
this sort of modern world, who wants the entertainment light?
It's, the only thing is,
do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, but it's like when you're watching Graham Norton or whatever, or Jonathan Ross. It's like now we're joined by Celebrity X, who's selling their book. Now we're joined by Celebrity Y, who's talking about their film.
Yeah,
but in a way, their fans and us can see them in any time we want.
Yeah,
almost.
Yeah, but also in it, I don't know whether this is kind of rose tinted, but I sort of, from my recollection of when I'd see like Connolly on Parkinson, he wasn't there to flock. Or like Muhammad Ali wasn't. Do you know what I mean? It just felt like they had.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a market for a show where people have just nipped in for a chat.
We have one.
But I guess that's
we have
podcast.
We have one in Ireland.
What?
So you know Tommy Tiernan.
Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
So Tommy, that's the show.
And what's very interesting is I was talking about this the other day, because it gives such a different side to Tommy. But it's not that he's not funny, but he's so inquisitive and present in the conversation.
And he's quasi-philosophical as well.
Yeah, which he can be when he does stand up. But it's it's a real like nice accompaniment to the Tommy Tiernan that we would all know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Anyway, you're going to go on the Late Late Show tonight.
Yeah.
And you're going to go on Patrick Keelty. Well done. How are you? Tell us about your Irish roots. He's probably going to ask you about your Irish roots. So let's get this out of the...
straight away.
And if you have none, just say it.
I have none.
Great.
Yeah. It's kind of... But I think...
Thank God you don't.
They wanted to ask me straight away. I'll tell you what I will confess to, though. I wish I spoke like you people. My God. I just think that it just makes everything musical. It's perfect for comedy.
Our accent.
What just is... And the language around. It isn't just... But it's like... It isn't like a man walks into a pub. It's like your man's in the pub. But do you know what I mean? There's a dance to it.
Yeah.
That it makes it more. I don't know. It's the word choice as well as the accent.
It is one of the ones I like that we use here all the time. I don't know if it's common in UK culture. Is when we're doing reported speech and we're talking about what Russell said to Andy or whatever. So anyway. Russell turns around to Andy, and Andy turns around to Russell, and Russell turns around to him, and he says, "I will in me hole." And Andy turns around, and he goes, and you're just picturing these two people doing 360s all the time, turning on, spinning, almost.
Spinning Merc.
Irish people just walking on spinning saucers, turning around to each other, talking the whole time.
But Cockneys do that.
So then do they say he turns around to him?
Gazer's walked in, and there's sound effects as well. So it's like a Cockney chat would be like, Gazer's walked in, right?
Slap, wallop, bang.
Exactly. He's looked around, I've turned around, he's had a look, I've had it, and then, it's the most gentle way of describing a fight. So suddenly, we're having a dance. Which means you've headbutted him and you're asked him.
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh, we're going to have a little bit of a tear away. You know what I mean? It's always so gentle.
A little bit of ballet.
Yeah, a little bit of ballet.
Bish, bash, bush.
Yeah, it's all that. Scrunt, bit of pirouette, gone home.
Tiny little bit of a scrunch.
Yeah.
A bit of a mush. And a little bit of a boof.
Yeah, bosh is a big word in the UK.
I love bosh.
All of a sudden, you can be famous in England if you eat your tea and say bosh.
Yeah.
There's a geezer who does that and he's now on tour. I don't know.
I know him.
Yeah, and I don't know what the live show is. But it must be him eating his dinner and going, oh, yeah.
I think people, I've seen him all right, and I've seen him
massive.
But he's massive because I think people just like looking at how happy he is with his life.
Yes.
So he said, I've got a pint, it's Friday, bosh.
Yeah.
And you're there, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's a bit like they've got a thing in Korea called mukbang, which is... A lot of people apparently live on their own. So what they do is, and this I think started in 2015, they live broadcast themselves. And what they have to do, while they're having their tea, so it's a sense of community, but you have to make noises so it sounds like it's as pleasurable as possible. So you'd eat it and go... like a proper 70s camp comedy. Like that. And that's...
In Ireland, it would probably be like, cheers, that's good.
Yeah. Well, it's almost ASMR here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's like little sounds.
Yeah. But I think you do that well as well. I remember years ago seeing a little old lady selecting a cake in a bakery, and I've not seen a lady swear over cake before, but it made sense. She was like, oh, I fucking know. But it was this, do you know what I mean?
Cake porn.
Yeah. It was so... But it felt like that is our relationship with cake, rather than like the Great British Bake Off, which is like, well, the texture's not quite right.
Yeah.
It's a bit like this. You just want a little Irish lady going, oh, fuck it, would you give it here?
When can I say soggy bottom?
Yeah. But it's also kind of...
Has somebody said soggy bottom yet?
Yeah. Rather than like, oh God, because cake is cake.
Yeah.
Like, even a bad cake, it's still going in. Do you know what I mean? It's as if it would have to be so bad for you to not eat it.
Cake is cake unless you're the day to day circa 1990 when cake wasn't cake with one of our favourite comedians, Chris Morris.
Yeah.
Cake, everybody's taking it,
Yeah.
and it was in the Parliament and everything. Come here, so you have 9 million followers. On social media. It's extraordinary. It's a big number. It's a big number by anybody's standards. And I was thinking, you don't even have to do it. I mean, technically, this is the interesting thing about social media. One could argue you don't even have to do any Late Late Show or any podcast or any radio show. For if 1% of your followers came to see you, you would do 90,000 people in Vicar Street.
Wow. Yes,
that's 90 Vicar Streets.
Yes, I've never figured that out. But then it's fun as well. I like it's. Also,
do you like promoting?
I like going to different countries and doing it. Like I find I've had the most varied conversations today with Irish broadcasters, it's been brilliant. It's like genuinely, like everyone feels interesting and interested, and it feels like certainly in the UK, it can be a bit kind of
a little robotic.
Well, it feels like everyone is worried about losing their job any second in case somebody says something that's a bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it feels like that.
Febrile, a bit the tension. Tension there.
It's like we could lose our job if.
You feel it's a bit looser here.
Yeah, do you think? Yeah,
do you think so?
Oh my God, it just feels.
Your friend is giving me the big absolutely all the way.
But in a really good way. It just and that's how it relaxed and just funny conversations with
which could go anywhere. Or
well, it was like I was just on what was the name? It was did a morning radio show called the Strawberry Alarm Clock, and I put it to them that sounds like Irish slang for a lady's period. And but they were fine with it. Like exactly, but we all had a laugh. But it sounds like a bloke. I can't come out. Sure, she's got the strawberry alarm clock in. But that's my point. Rather than we apologise for what missed out. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, that's funny. You probably shouldn't have said that, but it's funny. Let's move on.
Fine,
it's like rather than that kind of. Well, we apologise if anyone was upset. You know, it's this.
I know
that this.
Should we ponder out loud on national radio at the moment? What the hell does watermelon sugar high stand for anyway with your man?
Yeah,
and then people are like, well, you know, it really stands for darling.
Yeah.
Bish bash bosh.
Yeah,
a little bit of a dance.
Yeah, but it just. I think what's weird about it is that given that we have podcasts, we have conversations where people are so themselves, and we all have WhatsApp groups for ourselves, there is this kind of weird, almost like sometimes broadcasting can be the top of the duck when really we're the bottom bit that's all kind of ugly and a bit peculiar, but that's the truth of it. The duck is what's going on underneath rather than above, and I think I've made my point very clearly.
Absolutely, that's.
But you know what I mean? It's like that. I've just had some lovely, funny, weird chats.
Good, and that's good, Russell. But it was interesting what you said about. Well, actually, I'm interested that you did say it about the UK because actually, I love listening to UK stuff. I listen to I love UK politics and stuff as nearly as much as I love Irish politics, especially in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But I would listen to, let's say, LBC quite a lot.
Yes.
A guy called James O'Brien.
Yes.
And he is so sensitive about even saying, so you get a caller, right? And say, so James, I really think the whole thing is a real pile of, no, please, whatever you do not say that. We say what? Were you going to use the S word?
Yeah.
I mean, he was just petrified.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
So Ofcom obviously is really hardcore in the UK, where if you say, let's shit or even crap, he says, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. But it's sort of, and again, when you, like, I guess being a stand-up, you're able to just have these conversations and it's fine. Like, and, you know, if you swear occasionally, it kind of helps a joke, or if it's on the way to a joke or whatever, but it's not like everyday audience. They sort of protect this audience that I think don't exist. I don't think people are genuinely upset by words.
Not only are they not upset by words, there's so many bad things going on in the world, Russell, that they're getting lesser and lesser upset by, less and less upset by words.
Yeah.
I mean, there really are bad things happening in the world.
You could argue the way that we talk on British news is a very strange way to report what is happening. You know, hello, welcome. Terrible, you know what I mean? That strange voice that we have. You know, more war, more horror, more sexual assault. Here's the weather. Like, it's so... But it's so kind of detached and formal. It's, you know, surely the place...
It's an unnatural way almost to communicate that kind of...
Well, if anyone should swear, it's newsreaders. It should be like, are you fucking getting this? Have you seen what's fucking happening? Again? Like, but do you know what I mean? It's sort of...
Yeah, that's good.
So I think...
Or even before they read it, that they're there...
Yeah, they just look at it.
And in Ukraine... Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You fucking...
That's the split.
Sorry... Listen, you don't need to hear this shit. You don't need to hear this shit. He's dropped a fucking another bomb, the little bastard.
That's it, sideways news. And they just always are.
Yeah. Well, you see, this is interesting because we're veering now into Russell Howard territory because your TV show is, or the TV show that you were doing, which I used to watch all the time, was very topical.
Yeah.
Like up to the minute topical.
Yeah.
I'm just like kind of thinking... Now is almost like, well, I had two questions for you. One is that satire, okay? There's a bit of an absence of satire on UK television.
Oh, it doesn't exist. Yeah.
And then, have you thought about that?
I think what's odd is so like Mock the Week went, the MASH report went, to those my show went. So you're kind of left with Have I Got News For You? That's the only show.
But even
that feels very. I can't remember the last time a clip from Have I Got News For You went viral on socials where it just connected with such, power. It just feels like a very established show of like old faces that could quite easily be on other shows just coming in and, but I guess it just exists online, and it's quicker. And if the thing happens, you get people that can
It does, but like I would have thought something like, for something along the lines of Bremner, Bird and Fortune would have been very important around now, or more to the point, Spitting Image circa.
Yeah, but I think Spitting Image is on, but that's on YouTube, isn't it? So
it's not, people aren't seeing it.
Well, the interesting thing is if YouTube is for young people, then you're right, they're not going to go to that kind of, I guess it feels like there's an absence maybe of kind of grown-up satire, but I would imagine there's a lot on, and I know there is a lot online. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, but I would have thought the most parodyable people in the world have been Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage.
Well, exactly. But someone like Tommy Robinson in the UK.
Yeah.
But in India, there's a lot of, I mean, because he's like Farage is ahead in the polls in the UK, and it feels so interesting because 10 years ago he was a punchline, and now he's somehow, copied the Trump book and has no policies other than we'll get rid of all of them. That seems to be it.
And a pint of Bishop's Finger there, darling.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's kind of like he likes
insert new funny ale name here.
Yeah, but he likes a pint of the fag, and he's one of us, isn't he? But it's very. I kind of wonder sometimes if Mark Maron, the American guy, had a line where he basically said that the American left had annoyed the average American into fascism, and I kind of think there's something to be said for that as well in terms of like. If you were to get into...
Piss them off, yeah.
I think if you were to get into kind of like in-depth satire, it's like sometimes the finger wagging of the left has kind of cocked up a lot of things. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I think...
Yeah, don't tell me I'm stupid.
Yeah, but it's that thing of somebody like... I guess I often wonder if someone from the left had that kind of Teflon approach and said, "Yep, I said it. What do you think?" Whereas the left, it feels are always like, "Well, and eating itself."
I know.
And whereas somebody like Farage will never apologise, and after a while, it would appear that becomes beguiling to people because it's a similar thing to Trump. He'll never apologise. So. I'm sort of chasing my thoughts here a bit, but I think what's very interesting is we have an obsession in the UK. If someone changes their mind, the papers and the media will destroy them, and it's like, oh, flip-flop, U-turn, and oh, you change your mind. When actually, it's, well, I received new information and I'm now changing my mind. But it's become this weird thing where you have to be concrete and you have to stick with, but everyone is in a permanent state of becoming.
Exactly.
We have this kind of weird sort of problem in politics where as soon as you change your mind, it's like flip-flop, U-turn, change your mind, that you are...
That's right. We have the exact same thing in Ireland.
Yeah.
I mean, a politician is caught saying something and they go, well, sorry, can I interrupt you there? Because last year you said the complete opposite thing. Yeah. And this is supposed to be the worst thing that can happen to the politician. Yeah. I mean, the idea of cognitive dissonance, the idea of, for example, even holding two thoughts in your head at the same time doesn't seem to be allowed for politicians. You believe in something and you have to believe it forever, even though events might change and information might change.
Yeah.
I mean, I would change my mind if something like that happened.
Yeah.
What's wrong with changing your mind?
And it's sort of, then it becomes this thing of like, well, hate the game, not the player, because there's a brilliant quote that I find myself saying all the time, and it's like, tyranny is the deliberate removal of nuance. And it kind of feels like that is, that quote applies to so many things where everything is binary and tribal and nothing is. Everyone is, like, if you take politics, for example, everyone's a little bit right or a little bit left. No one is one thing completely. You know what I mean? It's a bit like a buffet. You take things from different areas, and yet we live in an era where you can only be one thing. So it happens a lot in comedy. It's kind of like, are you an edgelord, or are you kind of like,
What's an edgelord?
Well, you know, someone that's like a comic that is deliberately kind of...
Oh, provocative.
Yeah, provocative.
Trolly and edgy.
Yeah, and that thing of kind of like, you know, I hate that word, but like anti-woke and all that, you know, and they create this kind of fictitious audience like, oh, they won't like that, will they? The wokes won't like that. Nobody cares. It's like, you know, you could say whatever you want in stand-up, particularly live stand-up, and the audience, that's the beauty of it, this perfect jury. If they laugh,
is it your favourite?
If they don't. Is
it your favourite thing to do?
Yeah, because it's like from an entertainment point of view, it's so immediate, and audiences have no idea. Good audiences let us be funny. That it's such a communal activity that they gee us on and move us further, and they help the lines appear because they've created an atmosphere where you can kind of be your best self. And then when audiences are a bit stiff, then you rely on the material and the show to get you through.
Yeah.
But it's you can have those moments with stand-up where you can genuinely laugh like mates. You know when you're lost in laughter with your pals, and there's no laugh like it. It's you know, it's that you love them, they love you. You're lost together in this kind of beautiful, safe, sort of almost like societal orgasm. And you get that sometimes with a crowd where you're like locked in this silly thing. It means nothing to somebody outside of that laugh. Because that's the fascinating thing. When you're laughing with with friends, it feels like you're never going to stop. But if you, as a stranger, joined in with that laughter, it would end immediately. It's kind of wild. Do you know what I mean? If you saw a bunch of people laughing, you just ran over and went, ha 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 ha, dumb. Isn't that weird?
Well, yet at the same time, if you're in Vicar Street, you are with 1,000 strangers, and you are laughing with strangers, and that is again, and that is in its sense as well very reassuring.
But that's what I'm. But you've managed to create that sort of feeling with pals.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Vicar Street, like I've never done the arena here because if you've been lucky enough to play Vicar Street, I mean, if there's a better room for comedy in the world, I don't know where it is.
2 great rooms in Dublin.
Okay, what's
so the Vicar Street would be one.
Yeah.
This is strictly for stand-up comedy because in Vicar Street you have the dynamic as well where the little tables.
Several
people can have their little pint in front of them, and you get about 1,100 people into that room.
Yeah.
And that is a great... That creates a huge dynamic.
Yeah.
The other one is the Olympia. The Olympia is a Victorian theatre in the centre of Dublin, and it has 3 sort of things, and they're right on you. So you can see the whites of the eyes in people's faces who are up there.
Yeah.
And that also is a spit in the floor rock and roll venue.
Yeah.
So when people come into comedy, they feel almost the DNA of the building. It has noise.
Yes.
So there's another theatre just across the road called the Gaiety, also a Victorian, but that's a theatre.
Yes.
So people, when they go in there, they almost feel, I must behave myself.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it?
He's very funny, but I won't laugh that loud.
Yes. Yeah, it's funny. Like you kind of...
Buildings have memory.
They do. And it's like, so if you do like the Sydney Opera House, it's... I mean, it's so beautiful, but it's too...
Stiff.
Well, it's just too nice. It's just, you kind of...
People don't want to disturb the scaffolding.
Well, and also, you know how Aussies love their opera. So it's just so... do you know
the Barber of Melbourne?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I love the Barber of Melbourne. It was Melbourne, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just... But it's. I know what you mean. It's like
they do have memories.
Certain rooms create certain atmospheres, and it's. Although what can happen sometimes is, so if you're in a room like the London Palladium is a good example, or the Albert Hall, where they do create that sense of like, bloody hell, we're somewhere cool. You know what I mean? And it, even though you wouldn't necessarily think it would work, it really does.
The Who's down in Who Newville were making their list, but some didn't know Walmart has the best brands for their gifts.
What about toys? Do they have brands kids have been wanting all year?
Yep, Barbie, Tony's, and Lego. Gifts that will make them all cheer.
Do you mean they have all the brands I adore?
They have Nintendo, Nespresso, Apple, and more.
What about...
So the Who answered questions from friends till they were blue. Each one listened and shouted, from Walmart? Who knew? Shop gifts from top brands for everyone on your list in the Walmart app.
Are you ready to get spicy?
These Doritos Golden Sriracha aren't that spicy.
Maybe it's time to turn up the heat.
Or turn it down. It's time for something that's not too spicy. Try Doritos Golden Sriracha.
Spicy.
But not too spicy.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You are strong. You are fearless. You are a fighter. And every last drop of this rich golden Modelo is yours. So raise it up high, because you've earned it. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
It's never too early for Lowe's Black Friday deals. Snag some of our biggest savings of the season right now, like 25% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees. And get yourself free select DeWalt, Cobalt, or Craftsman tools when you buy a select battery or combo kit before the Black Friday rush. Because everyone loves free stuff, right? Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/3 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Russell, when you go around, let's say, well, we could call it the whole world then. Do you perceive a difference in the type of audiences that you get? That sort of, let's say, is one audience, maybe one region, a little racier than another, or one another? Like, for example, let's say, talk about England, north and south, if we can break those up. That might be a bit barbaric, yeah. but let's say you're in Sunderland one night, but you're in Guildford. Yes. The next night. Do you find any difference in your audiences?
Yeah, it was massive.
Cool. Talk to me.
Well, like those kind of commuter belts, around the M25, they can sometimes be, they can be fantastic, but they also, there can be a slight kind of, people have just got in from work. It's all kind of like, there was a brilliant Irish comic, actually, a guy called Jack Cowley, and he always used to say it so beautifully of Bristol. So he would say, he'd go, I love gigging in Bristol, because when you're in London, they're like, right, be funny. That was funny. Right, I'm laughing, but you better be thinking of another joke whilst I'm laughing. Whereas in Bristol, I was like, it'll be funny any second now. It'll be funny when he needs to be. And that certain areas have I don't know, like they're just a wee bit more relaxed and a bit.
Are there people who are laughing at you just the moment you walk on stage, even before you open your mouth, and you're going, Jesus?
Yeah, well, sometimes, but there's more of a lunacy in certain places than there are in. Do you know what I mean? If people are quite prim and proper, and they've got a nice job, that they're not going to let it all hang out. Whereas if you're kind of, if you've got a few bangers in the crowd, then it's going to be slightly. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you're doing a gig in like Cardiff, it's going to be fantastic, and there'll be a few sort of slightly strange people shouting stuff out, and that's fantastic. But in Guildford, it might be a bit more like, well, that was a bit much actually, because that, So it's sort of that really, but it's still fun because you.
So in a sense, you'd be saying Guildford would be quite, let's say, reserved, middle class,
yes,
well educated,
yes,
busy.
Well, I'm not.
I have an important job myself,
I'm not sure that's the thing for joke, But once you're under the skin, it's fine. But it's in other parts of the country, it's fine.
Yeah.
And then what's interesting, you go to like America, they're just wild. They're so happy that they've got no shame. Like they give you a standing ovation when you walk on in America. So like even in like a small comedy club, they're so happy and they've got no shame whatsoever at admitting that they like you, in a way that an English crowd were like, right, well, you better be funny. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, this guy, I love this guy. And it's so great.
So it's the freedom of expression, of course, in America.
Do you know what it is?
Well, it's the idea. I am here. I am part of this great plan called the United States, and I will express myself.
Yeah. Maybe it is that. It's just kind of, but there's no. I don't know. It means audiences are great there. Australian audiences are great. So in Europe, that's a wild one.
Tell me about Australia briefly, Russell. So are they kind of outgoing as well? Are they?
Yeah.
They give you.
They're great. So they're just big laughers. Just
go for it, mate. Go for it.
Yeah. And similar to the Irish crowds, I would say, it's just all kind of like, it feels like in Australia. They go to work, and then as soon as they've got a law in Australia, and it's called the right to not reply law. So you will get fined, or it is illegal to reply to an email to your boss if it's outside working hours. And for me, that typifies the Aussies of like, mate, I'd love to call you back, but it's illegal. It's 5:05, so get fucked. They just they've got a good work-life balance. Do you know what I mean? And they're just kind of, they work to work and then they're out.
Yeah.
They're kind of,
and if you live,
they love a drink, they love sport.
And if you live in a place that has like beautiful outdoors and sunshine like that, you want to be using it.
Yeah, and they're all, I remember seeing these kids and they were probably about 12 and they've got that kind of lovely, you know, that kind of sea, the blondes you get from the sea and the sun. It's got that kind of almost white. They were just like 12, like and they just had their little like wetsuits on and their little kind of cute little like surfboards. And they obviously finished school and I was like going, bloody hell, that is so different from my after school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd go home, I might have some Weetabix and watch some cartoons, but I wasn't like leaping in the ocean with my kind of, you know, sun-kissed hair swinging it about.
Well, Irish audiences want you to go there. Irish audiences want you to, would you agree, Connor? I think Irish audiences want you to go there, want you to be brazen.
Yeah, what I think, not to sound too wanky, but it is that thing of like, it's authenticity and it's kind of just whatever you want to say, go for it and back yourself, but also be self-aware if you're too serious or
true. Jason Byrne always says, like Jason would be complete sort of thoroughbred stand-up.
Yes.
In the sense, you know Jason?
Yeah, I know him very well.
And he would be sort of that kind of, stand-up is who he is.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Jason, do you want to be an actor? Don't be stupid.
Yes.
Do you want to be a singer? Come on. Don't diversify.
I wouldn't mind seeing Jason try fucking write an album though.
Jason, do you want to, like, I'm an agent here, bish bash bosh from agency. Do you want to diversify? No, fuck it, no diversity. I'm just a straight comedian. But Jason always tells the story that you go into somewhere like Vicar Street and you're always nervous because he's looking down at 1,000 people and those 1,000 people are going, now, I'm very fucking good at telling stories.
Yeah.
I've got 8 stories.
Yeah.
These better be better.
Yeah. It is.
So he's in his mind, he's competing against people who already have 6 or 7 good stories.
Yeah, but I think that makes it good because you sort of then go, you don't have any of the kind of niceties. You can just get into the weird and the wonderful. Because, like you say, people have got, like, we had a taxi driver who went, "You're a comedian. Will I tell you a joke?" Like on the way to the gig. I was like, "Of course."
Yeah.
You know, but it's I like it.
In Cork, if you ever do Cork.
I only know Cork from the Tommy Tiernan bit.
Yeah. If you ever do Cork, the comedians, the taxi drivers are so good, they will all give you different 3 minutes. Each taxi driver will give you. It's as if the eternal taxi driving community, the word will have come on. Come on, Russell Holds and Don. Have you got your 3 minutes already? I got my 3 minutes already. And so they'll have their... now, if you want a musical accent, it's the Cork accent. The most musical accent you'll ever hear in your life.
Is Roy Keane from Cork?
Roy Keane's from Cork.
Oh, who knew he was as funny as he was as well?
He's just got natural comic timing.
He looks a lot like Tiernan as well.
He does, yeah. And Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Sorry.
Yes. But
see, you can say these things on Irish podcasts, Russell. Iranian leaders, it's fine.
Yeah, but he did a thing the other day where Ian Wright was sort of saying what are the most overrated things in. Have you seen this? And Roy Keane's going
parties,
parties, and fireworks,
parties. What's the story with parties?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand.
But again, it's sort of that thing where it's. I would say he's revolutionised football commentary in the UK because. Like even if Liverpool lose, I'll listen to the post-match analysis just to hear Keane because he's funny now.
For a man who knows his social media, Keane when Keane's on,
it's a derby. You know, like all right,
derby.
Yeah, exactly.
Derby.
Exactly. Come on, show us some Blood of Thunder. Kill a man. Yeah.
So you know what you want to do is you want to go on social media because when Keane is on social media for Premier League. He trends. He's viral.
Right.
When he's not on, he's viral.
Yes.
Because basically all of the social media community going, oh, fuck, I love to see what Roy Keane would say about this.
Yeah.
So he's trending either way.
Yeah, but because he isn't media trained and he doesn't talk in a certain way and he has that similar thing that a comic would have where he stamps his feet to a different beat and it is interesting.
It is interesting to watch and also he is personally very charismatic.
Oh, yeah.
So you either have it or you don't.
Yes.
There's that thing.
Do you know, there's a beautiful, I think might be Spanish or Portuguese word. It's duende, D-U-E-N-E. And it's like
an attitude?
It's like the X Factor, but I've always loved it as a word of like duende. And it's like, he's got it.
I'll give you another word.
Go on.
I love words which we don't have in English.
Yes.
There's a French word called jolie laid.
Oh, yes.
Any idea?
Jolie laid.
So 2 words, actually. Jolie, laid.
I don't know.
Okay, so jolie would be pretty.
Yes.
And laid is ugly.
Oh.
So the person?
Like Tom York.
Tom York.
Well, as in because his performances are so beautiful, it makes him look...
No.
Gianfranco Zola.
As in physically?
Such a good footballer.
No.
Okay, right.
It's physical.
Okay.
You look at somebody and you go, I can't work out, are they absolutely gorgeous or hideously ugly?
Okay. Yeah.
Because their face is kind of gargantuan or big or monstrous.
Mm.
And you go, are they really... Because in some pictures, they look fucking like a ride.
Yeah.
And in another picture, they look like a gargoyle.
Yes. It's like the guy from...
So the French have a word for it. They call it jolie laid, which means pretty and ugly at the same time.
Yeah, I like that.
Isn't that amazing?
It is nice. I'm trying to think of the best example of it. It's probably the guy that plays the kind of young Darth Vader in Star Wars. What's his name?
Don't know. I'm not a fan of Star Wars.
Hayden Christensen. Not Hayden Christensen.
No?
The older one that plays in the last one. Rise of Skywalker, that guy. Who's the character? Oh, God, what's his name? I
think of somebody with a big sort of...
Adam Driver.
Oh, yeah.
Adam Driver. Yeah. Great example.
Like, so you could see, in some pictures, you could see Adam Driver and go, what an ugly bastard. And then another one, you go, he's a Calvin Klein model.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's that mixture.
My favourite word of is, do you know the German word Kummerspeck?
No. I know Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude is lovely, yeah. But Kummerspeck translates to grief bacon. And it's a term for putting on weight after heartbreak.
Ah, lovely.
Kind of amazing, but you know what I mean?
Love that one. I'll give you an Irish one.
Go on.
So my uncle is a Gaeilgeoir. A Gaeilgeoir is a person who is kind of a master of the Irish language.
Right.
He's such a master of the Irish language that the authorities often ring him, or used to ring him, to have Irish words put on the signs.
Right.
So everything from really simple stuff. Like they rang him once and they said, we need to christen the Irish Railway.
Yeah.
And he said, Iron Road Éireann, and that means Iron Road, Ireland.
Yes.
And so that, fine.
Yeah.
Then later, right, an escalator was being built in a big shopping centre, and they said, we need to put the sign up. Can you think of a sign that means escalator in Irish? And he came back 2 weeks later and went, Staire Bio. Okay, Staire Bio means the living stairs.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I like that.
So that was nice.
Yes.
But there's a punchline though.
The
living stairs. 2 weeks later, you probably even see this coming. 2 weeks later, the escalator broke down.
Yes.
So they went, Gabriel, we need a new sign. And he went, give me 2 weeks. He came back and he went, Tá Staire Bio Marv. The living stairs is dead.
Oh, nice.
And that means out of order in Irish. The living stairs was dead.
Yeah,
Isn't that nice? Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, I love the fact he always takes 2 weeks as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
increases the fee.
Yeah, exactly. In a world of instant turnaround, it's like...
Instant turnaround would be...
Give me a fortnight.
800. Instant turnaround would be 800 quid.
Yeah.
2 weeks is 8,000.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what else? God, very, very... You can keep a conversation going about anything.
Can I jump in on something, Mario? You mentioned about kind of attitude, and you mentioned Cork. There's a word that Cork people use, and it's gatch.
Yeah.
About the kind of way you carry yourself. So gatch on him.
Oh, yeah.
I like that.
Brilliant. Gatch.
Do you know what's your...
Fla.
What's your name, mate?
Connor is my name.
Connor. This is unbelievably specific, but I cannot tell you how much you look like my friend Tony. It's honestly... I'm going to have to get a photo.
Get out of here.
It's fucking mind-blowing. Like, genuinely. And I'm going to have to take a photo for my group. But
go on then.
It's what I'll do, just to prove, if it's all right, Connor, I'm going to take a photo of you.
Is there a certain pose I should do in there?
No. Like, there we go. So,
lovely.
And I'm going to send this in real time to my friends. And
tell us if you get a text back.
So this has gone to the group. I'm with an Irish broadcaster called Connor. Or is this Tony? See, there you go. Straight away, Connor Dyer, bang. Like, straight away, Connor Dyer, they're into it. It's unbelievable how much you look like my friend Tony. And like and he's known in our group as the skipper. He's the organizer. So every time I look over at you, I just feel like, because Tony's desperately trying to figure out like a Christmas dinner and like for all us to meet up. So I just feel like there's kind of the skippers in the room. It's incredible.
Brilliant. Russell, one of the other things you're interested in, or is this just a joke, is biohacking.
Yeah, I sort of went through a phase.
Tell our listeners what biohacking is.
So biohacking, I guess, is like it's all the kind of stuff you can try and do to live forever. So during COVID, probably like a lot of people, I kind of got into trying to stay healthy and all this kind of stuff. And I went down this kind of weird yellow brick road of kind of nonsense and intrigue of like, stuff you can take. And I'm sort of through it now a bit. But it kind of it's all the things you can do, like saunas and cold plunges, and
saunas are good for the cardio.
Saunas are very good for
heart.
I think, and a thing called brown fat, bizarrely. So it's like the good fat around your heart. So like it's the cold and the heat. All you've got to do, here's a little thing: if you do 45 minutes sauna a week and 11 minutes cold, that will have huge impacts on your health. So it's just stuff like that. There's a guy called Peter Attia that's quite an interesting bloke, and there's all these things about being healthier for longer, and the gist of it being that you ideally make it to like 90 and then you just die, rather than being ill from 70 to 90. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, you can't stop it.
Brian Johnson is this
guy.
Brian
Well, he's
Johnson.
just not him though. But he's
a bit freaky.
But his is like, clearly it's psychological.
But he's 47 or something, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't look any younger.
Yeah, and I was there. My wife said, "What do you think? What age do you think he looks?" And I went, "About 48."
Yeah,
he just fucking blew it.
Yeah, but it's sort of. But he also looks, desperate, and it's so much effort. But for me, what I find interesting about it is going, okay, because I've got a young son, and I kind of want to be around, and be as close to me as I can for as long as possible, so he's not burdened by. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
There was an interesting conversation between Xi and Trump, which was overheard when they were walking down the sort of the red carpet thing. Yeah, they were talking about. Xi was talking about reharvesting organs and all this. Now it wasn't a terribly bad conversation. It was to do with the idea of growing old or staying old, and now you can replace your organs and all this sort of stuff. But he was talking about the idea of, we're looking at situations where people will be able to stay alive till 130, 140.
Yeah, well, it's all that stuff about like injecting yourself with stem cells. Because I know there's all sorts of, like, I think there's all sorts of rumours about, like, Cristiano has done all that. Because you can do it in certain parts of Europe and blah, blah, blah. And, but it always feels a bit like peculiar.
I always feel I've always had a little bit of a problem with living to 130 or 40 or whatever.
Yeah.
And or 50, 150. And that's the idea of, like, why almost? I mean, it would change the whole dynamic of your lifespan.
Yes.
So, for example, I'm leaving school at 17. You're leaving school when you've got 133 years left.
Yes.
Right. How long have you been on your pension now?
Oh, yeah, well, that's
68 years on the pension.
You'd have to go tight with your pension, eh?
Tight.
Yeah. It's pot noodles all the way. You can't risk it.
Yeah, but also just all those kind of little milestones in your life are completely bastardized then by the act of being 150.
Yeah, but it's, I guess, for me, it's kind of like now, it's like the idea of going, and my son's 15 months old, but the idea of like, God, I'd love to see him get married, and I'd love to see if he has kids and all that. And if I'm lucky enough for that to happen, I'd like to be present for it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of, it isn't like a let's get physical type thing. No. It's just like, kind of want to be around to
die in your sleep age 92 after having 91 and a half years of amazing life.
Yes, exactly. That would do me.
Exactly. Why did you call it Don't Tell the Algorithm, the show?
I called it Don't Tell the Algorithm because I thought it was a catchy title for the place that we find ourselves in at the moment. Like, it feels like it's a night away from machines to do stand-up comedy, and it's one of the few kind of, art forms where you've got to be in it. You can't really be looking at your phone. You've got to be kind of present. And it happens very rarely now. Myself included, I'm looking at the phone constantly to see if my friends have texted about Connor.
Yeah.
So it just feels like it felt like a good title for a very human act, which is what stand-up feels like. It's like a bloke or a woman stood in front of a bunch of people telling funny stories, and that's been going on since forever.
And that will be, do you think, irreplaceable by AI?
I think so, because it's, to go back to Jason Byrne, you could try and create a robot Jason, but it wouldn't have it wouldn't have him. It wouldn't have the charm. You could try,
but even
you can't capture him in a bottle.
No, but you can't. That's the point.
And that's what it is. It's sort of, you spend time with Connolly, and it's Billy Connolly would do 2-hour shows, and he'd move his hair, and and fucking let me tell you this, and you're in the presence of this kind of vapor that makes you feel better. And
I think more and more, it seems to me anyway, because you see all the shows and everything that are released through Live Nation or MCD.
Yeah.
And there's more and more and more artists, more and more live shows. There seems to be more and more.
Do you know how many tours there are in the UK? This will blow me. Just comedy tours alone. See if you can guess.
1,000.
No, okay. 196.
Sorry.
But just tours. But I mean...
what a fucking dampener.
Yeah. But like, that's not even like... That doesn't include comedy nights. That's tours.
Yeah, but I'm seeing it as well.
Yeah, of course.
But one of the reasons is because, and it's really, yourself, that in the last even in the last 2 months, you are seeing a deluge of AI kind of stuff.
Yes.
AI comedy, AI memes, AI faces. Remember Trump jumping the plane, dropping. That sort of stuff is happening all the time.
Yes.
And I think, this is a theory I have, I think people are going to quickly tire of this, what I would call spamming. They're being spammed.
Yeah.
Right? It's like having a U2 album constantly being inserted into your phone against your will.
Yes.
Right? And they're being spammed all the time. And the more they're spammed, the more they're going to go, I just want to see a real human being on a floorboards in a theatre.
Yeah.
That's all I want to see.
Yeah.
They don't even have to be that funny.
Yeah.
Just make it real.
Mm-hmm.
I think there will be a flight towards realism.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
So,
and it sort of feels like there's a whole generation that have been experimented upon. And it's like, how old are you?
55.
Yes, so right. So I'm 45. So I remember, an era where businesses weren't interested in me. Like being 14, like no one was tracking me. Nobody was sending me an algorithm. Nobody's figuring out what my consumer habits were. It was utterly indifferent to me. I was 14. I was away with my mates. I would leave the house during the summer holidays at 9. My mum wouldn't let me back in the house until 5. And, we didn't realize how fortunate we were to have that utterly idyllic world of slowly becoming ourselves. And the problem we have now is how can the real world possibly compete with the lure of the phone or the iPad, because it's so instantly gratifying, but it's so hard to explain to young people, particularly, the importance of boredom. It is vital, because from boredom comes poetry and films and music. You need to, like, if Paul McCartney wasn't bored, his brain wouldn't have gone, yesterday, fucking hell, yeah. But it's really hard to think, and we don't get to think as often as we should. And increasingly, I do it. We all do it. We just basically regurgitate things we've seen. So it's very seldom that you are actually giving an original thought. And when you happen upon one, particularly as a comic, it feels extraordinary. Particularly in these times, because you go, I think I've noticed something about the world, and then you say it, and then hopefully there's a laugh, and it feels like you feel a little less mad, and it's a cherry on top of the overall sort of like Orwellian surveillance culture that we sort of now live in, where I've seen my nephews. Do you want to go? Should we go for a walk in the woods? Why would they possibly want to go for a walk in the woods? Because it's not as interesting as the phone, because it isn't instant. And that's the fight at the minute. So I was talking about this earlier on an interview. I saw this. It's probably 3 people in Stockholm, and they were maybe 21. They were beautiful. Like, it was 2 blokes and a woman. They were queuing up to go to the toilet, and they're all on their phones. And I just sort of saw them out the corner of my eye, and I was going, flipping hell. They're missing out on the opportunity. One of those 2 could end up marrying her if they had a conversation, or they might become best mates, or they might go on holiday based on this conversation. But there could be a spark of something. But it's bloody hard to get sparks going, because why would you possibly give life a chance when your phone has everything? And I think that as a starting point is something oddly that everyone on the planet feels.
Well said. and it's so funny that you say that, because when you do come up with an interesting thought, an audience knows it.
Yeah.
They know that it's not regurgitated.
Yeah.
And I don't know what that magic is, but if you've genuinely thought of it, especially maybe even on the night.
Yes.
They can see that.
Yeah.
And they can see that it's not fabricated.
Yes.
So that's an interesting thing that people pick up on.
But it goes back to what you were saying as well. It's that need for the proof of being human.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Of like somebody saying something and then you saying something and then someone in the crowd saying something and then you linking it back to what they said earlier. You could see all the crowd going, this isn't a lie. There's no way, unless, but even if he paid that one, he couldn't have paid that one to link, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Sort of.
And the other thing you said, which registered with me, was boredom. Yeah. And I read somewhere in a good journal once that one of the most productive things you can do with your life is to daydream.
Yes.
So do you know the cliche of looking at it's raining against the window and you're just looking out, and you know when your eyes go glazy and you're not looking at anything, you're just looking, and it's at that time somebody goes hello and you can't hear them because you're daydreaming. They say that daydreaming is the most creative space you can possibly be in. That all this stuff is downloading in your brain which you're not even aware of, which is filling your subconscious with whatever it might be, but it's the creative stuff.
Definitely.
And this is what they say as well. They link it to procrastination. That procrastination shouldn't be frowned upon. So when you see this, I'm fucking trying to write this fucking book, I'm procrastinating all the time. Part of the whole thing, the process, is the procrastination. There's stuff going on that you're not aware of. It's basically our brains are magic. We know nothing about them. Practically nothing about them. Maybe if you put a percentage, would it be 2%? I mean, you're talking, it's like the way they talk about the depths of the sea. That only 6% of the sea, the oceans have been even visited. 94% unexplored. Our brains are unexplored. We don't know what's going on with them. They're magical, mystical, beautiful places. And we should just sometimes allow them to do their thing.
Yeah, but like you say, but sometimes you've got to be in the ocean for a while before you see a fish. Like, do you know what I mean? You're going, fucking hell, just in the ocean for a bit. It seems a bit boring. And so that you need time. There's a really brilliant book about it by a guy called Cal Newport, and it's called Deep Thinking, I think, and it's basically chatting about what we're talking about that the almost like these ancient pathways to better your brain. One of the things I thought was really interesting is that, let's say you write, I don't know, for 2 hours or whatever. Apparently then if you go for a walk in nature for like half an hour, your brain is sort of surreptitiously figuring out all the mistakes you made and just kind of going do, because you don't really have to think about there's a car, there's a person, I've got to press the traffic light, you know, because it's easier to move through. So there's something about just being in the simplicity of nature and apparently if you, let's say you are writing or you're doing something creative, if you then go on your phone and you go on Instagram or TikTok and you doom scroll, it breaks the neurological patterns that you needed to make the previous 2 hours useful. And when you hear stuff like that, see, I have an obsession. Because I'm not a particularly intelligent bloke, but when I happen upon a bit of what I perceive wisdom, it really annoys me that how hard it's taken me to find this. And when something like that feels so simple to a would-be writer, let's say you're a young creative hearing that, you hear that and you're like, I'll give that a go. You know, and it just feels like it would be so fantastic if there was somewhere that you could go where these sages would tell you. And, you know, I feel that's another thing we're sort of missing, that just like, almost like village elders. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Kind of come in and explain something to you. I'd like that.
Excellent, Russell. Listen, Russell, I want to thank you for giving of your energy. For giving of your energy and being present. And it's hard going around and talking to people all the time.
Is it though?
Well, if you're enjoying it, maybe you're having a good time. That's fine. I'm delighted you are. But thank you for being here. Thank you for giving of your energy. I hope Vicar Street is an absolute sellout. Your show is called Don't Tell the Algorithm. And I hope you do a huge business here in Ireland. And I hope the Irish people get you as much as I've got you in the last hour or so. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for slagging Connor off. And hello to your friend.
So Tony has put, I thought that was me. And my friend David said he probably has a bit more hair than Tone, but his island is coming on a treat. And then Tony, you bastard, that is me. It's me. It's
lovely.
Anyways, I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That was great, man. Really fun.
Thank you.
Fun.
And my thanks to Russell Howard for coming in and giving so energetically and committedly of his time. We had a very, very, very fun and interesting conversation. I hope you'll agree. My thanks to On Ice, my sponsor, Ireland's premium ice skating experience. Grab your tickets now at onice.ie. And my special thanks to you, of course, the listener. If you can, tell one other person about this podcast. Recommend it maybe to them. And I'll see you same time, same place next week.